what are your thoughts on like the women's evolution of MMA from like because obviously Ronda Rousey made it pretty big with like the superstar she was and then helped elevate the women. Then Holly Holm came and took that, and now we have Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is like an evolution of women's MMA, right? So Ronda, I think, was like a pioneer of the sport, and I think like she just like has her own seat in women's MMA, you know?
Hmm.
I don't think Holly beating her like totally like just like took her off the map. Like Ronda still did so much for women's MMA, but like that was also just such I remember watching that fight and like just like that was such a crazy moment in the sport, you know, like it
Yeah,
was such a shock. And like I just remember being like, dang, I can't believe that just happened. Like, so but yeah, so it's like I feel back then people were more not as well rounded, you know, like people were good at like one thing and it was kind of like they were playing into that strength. And now it's more so like in order to be at the top level, you have to be good at everything, you know. So fighters are just so much more well rounded now than they were, you know, 10, 15 years ago.
yeah,
Because they're training MMA off rip instead of like being a jiu-jitsu guy and then, you know, learning to strike, or being a wrestler and then, you know, learning to do jiu-jitsu. Like people are putting it together much earlier on in their careers, and I think that is, you know, why we've seen such a crazy um like it's just like the talent has just escalated, you know.
yeah. Because I feel like with Ronda Rousey, she was so good at grappling, and then obviously we saw she's not the best at striking, but now it's like to be in that top 10 or top 15, you need to be able to finish anybody anywhere. That goes for
Yeah,
men and women.
yeah, you have to be good at everything for sure. Being well rounded is it's not an option,
Yeah.
or not
And
being well rounded is not an option.